they're actually bemoaning the fact that Azimio just outmaneuvered them in what they thought was a masterstroke. And just after, like a chess game, just after they made their move, then the ultimate checkmate, was brought to the table in terms of the announcement of the running mate in Azimio, in terms of the other positions, the other positions that were mentioned as promised to a number of people. First, if it were true that, in their view, Mother Karua was a political pepper tiger, they would not be so quick to react. You would not see the bitterness that is evident in the Kenya Kwanza side. You would not see the kind of complaints. If you look at page 12, William Ruto is saying that the fact that Mother Karua will be in charge of reform then might lead to mutilation of the constitution. A pepper tiger cannot change anything. If indeed it were true that she would be ineffective, they would not fear that she would change anything. But immediately she was named running mate, they started all this fear-mongering. It means they are truly worried. You can say anything of Mother Karua, but the one thing you cannot accuse her of is being, being ineffective politically. If you were to compare our brother, who I respect, Rigathi Gachagua, with Mother Karua, in terms of experience, political experience, Martha trounces him by kilometers. Martha has been elected 4 times, elected at a very young age, and rose to all those positions, including being Minister for Justice, including running for the presidency. So in terms of experience, Martha takes it hands down. In terms of principle, Martha again takes it hands down. Martha, some people are complaining that how come now, Martha is working with Raila and she's going to be in charge of reforms, yet she opposed the BBI. Indeed, it is true. And that shows the kind of principle that we are dealing with in Azimio. She opposed BBI, we were for BBI, but she opposed it in principle. And that demonstrates to you that if you want a leadership of principle, then you are safer with Raila and Martha, because they both believe in principled leadership. If you are talking about excitement, how can Aaron Cheriot be the only one who does not see the excitement that was evident in all the media houses when Mother Karua was named? And there were pictures all over, whether it's in Eldoret, whether it's in Kisumu, in Kirinyaga, in Mombasa, of people celebrating. Celebrating not only because of the idea that she comes from the rich vote Mount Kenya, but more importantly, celebrating because for the first time in 60 years, we have a female running mate. For the first time, the women folk of this country have the opportunity to have a stab, at the negotiating table as the second in command. Excitement, because we know that in terms of the equation, whether you like it or not, the Mount Kenya region is vote rich. And that is why, despite the recommendations that were made to William Ruto by the panel that he had put to consider these issues, he overlooked the fact that the majority of them had preferred Professor Kindiki, and he still went for our brother, Gachagua, because of that reality. And that reality is what has been checkmated. They were hoping in Kenya Kwanza that we would not be alive to that, and that's why for the entire week, you would have thought that they were in Wiper. They were campaigning for my brother Kalonzo Musyoka to be named running mate, because they were hoping that if they joined Dan Manzo and the other hardliners in Wiper, that it might just, deem the reason and the rationale that was obvious. But we could not, and we did not fall for that. So when they tell you that they don't think there's excitement, they don't think, they think that Mother Karua is a pepper tiger, it is not true. What is true is that they really don't know what to do now, because every scheme that they had in terms of running mate and in terms of hoodwinking all the others with all other positions has just come a cropper, But I'd like to come back actually to this issue of running mate for Azimio.
But before you even go there, from your own assessment, do you think, because we've had this discussion before, here on this particular table. Do you think the stance and the headline stance that we got from Dan Mazo and other political operatives within Wiper made the decision that Kalonzo took? Was it out of his own volition? And is he walking also into a political obscurity right now that he's chosen to, go it alone? At the end of the day, how big of a mark will that really make on his political career at the end of the day? Or is he looking for a runoff so that now he can have a bargaining too?
I'll tell you what, both Honorable Martha Karua and Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka are both my friends. We were admitted as senior counsel at the same time, and we converse generally. But I think that the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka has just created a legal and political conundrum from which he cannot emerge victorious in that sense. First, I think that Dan Manzo, Senator Ambua, and a host of other operatives within Wiper, they literally talked Kalonzo Musyoka out of consideration for running mate. They talked Kalonzo Musyoka out of that consideration for their own benefit, not for Kalonzo's benefit. And I've said that here before. Because in terms of the vote that they're seeking within Ukambani,
yes,
taking that hardline stance endears them to the populace at the cost of Kalonzo Musyoka's national consideration. They literally talked him out. When there's a panel that has already been constituted, and the first thing is that you call them minions. Yes. You say Kalonzo cannot appear before political minions. And those are the guys to make a recommendation in terms of who to consider. They are also people. When you are appointed, as Senator Ambua was, to be part of the team, but instead of sitting there to make consideration of who to recommend, you are all over Ukambani in funerals, calling your own colleague names and saying that your candidate of choice cannot appear before. In fact, they make Kalonzo look really bad. You remember when Mutula Kilonzo Jr. was, calling those people and telling on national TV that write it down, that Kalonzo will never appear. Dan Manzo here, he's had his own choice of words in terms of just saying that Kalonzo will not appear. Senator Ambua. So instead of taking the opportunity that is given to you, an opportunity to be humble, all of us are always interviewed by those who may not necessarily be bigger than us. As a politician, my electorate, a person who has not gone to school in Rarieda, a person without any money, is my voter. So actually, they're the ones who interview me for every opportunity I want to vie. When you start saying that you cannot be interviewed by people you consider to be political junior, then you're missing the point. And then ultimately, you appear in a half. They talked Kalonzo out of consideration. But let me explain what I was talking about. Kalonzo Musyoka now says he's a presidential candidate and he has named a running mate. And Dan Manzo here, who is a lawyer of many years standing, fails to advise him that what he's doing is without legal foundation. Let us examine this. First of all, the IEBC had set a deadline for any political party that wished to present any candidate for any position, from MCA to the president. That deadline was 29th of April. That deadline passed. It has never been extended. When, therefore, on 16th of May, Kalonzo Musyoka comes and says that he's going to run on Wiper, and he flaunts, I think, Sumkuli as the running mate, it is idle legally.